The Lord has instructed me to convey this urgent message to you at this very moment. A wealthy family, one of the richest on the planet, is in search of an heir, and that heir is you. However, if you do not heed this message today, everything may be lost. The enemy is already working to distract you, to confuse you, and to make you scroll past this crucial moment. But God is louder today. He is reaching into your life and declaring, you were born for this, you were chosen for this, and the time is now. You have prayed for a breakthrough, you have asked God for a sign. This is it. This is not merely a video, it is a prophetic appointment. Heaven is aligning your life, and it is about to shift in ways you never imagined. You must not miss God's call for today. Do not disregard this sign. Have you ever sensed that something significant was about to occur, yet you could not articulate why? That stirring deep within you is not anxiety, it is not restlessness, it is the voice of the Holy Spirit saying, get ready. Today is no ordinary day. There is a spiritual clock in heaven, and it is striking your name, your moment. God is speaking louder than ever because your inheritance is closer than it has ever been. Psalm states, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. God is providing instructions today. You must listen. This is your divine appointment, and the truth is that many will miss it. They will ignore the sign, thinking it is just another video. But not you. You are still here because you were meant to receive this message. A spiritual door is opening today, and if you step through it, your life, your finances, your peace, and your legacy will transform. If this message resonates with your heart, comment below, I hear you, Lord, I'm ready. A billionaire family is searching for you, and this is not a coincidence. This message may initially seem unbelievable, but what if I told you that heaven does not operate according to human logic? Right now, in places you have never been, among people you have never met, there is movement, discussions, preparations, and your name, yes, your name is echoing in the spirit realm. A family of great wealth is diligently searching through their records, which are incomplete. Their lineage is missing one crucial individual, and unbeknownst to them, God knows precisely who that person is: you. This situation transcends mere earthly wealth. Indeed, financial opportunities are at play and assets are being mobilized, but the matter runs much deeper. It pertains to divine inheritance, spiritual bloodlines, and blessings that have been accumulated over generations, awaiting someone with the right heart to accept them. You have been chosen. Have you ever pondered why certain struggles in your life have been so severe? Why has the enemy targeted your health, relationships, and finances? It is because you are carrying something of great value, something that the kingdom of darkness has sought to obstruct for decades, perhaps even centuries, through your family lineage. This is the reason the enemy opposes you. If you ever fully embrace what God has reserved for you, chains will be broken, not only in your life but also in the lives of your children, grandchildren, and all those connected to you. This message did not reach you by chance. There are no coincidences in the kingdom of God. You are here because the Spirit of the Lord has designated you for this moment, and heaven is proclaiming that you are the heir. Now I urge you to take a powerful action. This is not merely a video, it is a spiritual covenant. If you believe this message is meant for you, please type the following declaration in the comments right now, even before you proceed. I am the heir. I receive my inheritance. Nothing will hinder what God has in store for me. Write it, declare it, and let both heaven and hell witness that you are rising up. From this moment onward, changes will commence. The search is concluded. The rightful heir has been identified. You are the heir, but you must remain vigilant. There is something sacred about timing in the spirit realm. Timing is not gauged by clocks or calendars, it is determined by obedience, awareness, and alignment. At this moment, a spiritual alarm is sounding over your life. Not everyone can perceive it, and not everyone will respond, but you are being awakened because the inheritance intended for you must not fall into the wrong hands. Let me be very clear, you are the heir, and you have always been, even during times when you felt forgotten, even when others were chosen before you, blessed before you, or promoted before you. God did not overlook you, He was preparing you. Every struggle, every loss, and every moment you believed He was silent, He was working behind the scenes, building strength within you. This inheritance carries great responsibility. It is not merely about receiving money or property, it encompasses a divine assignment that only you can fulfill. Your inheritance is a calling, a purpose, a mantle, which is why you must be fully awake, not half listening, not spiritually numb, but entirely alert in the spirit. Ephesians states, "Awake, O sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." This is not the time to sleep. It is not the time to allow distractions to rob you of your moment. The enemy would love for you to keep scrolling, to keep doubting, to believe this is meant for someone else. However, deep down you know this is for you. You can feel the confirmation in your spirit. You feel the tears welling in your eyes, your heart racing. The truth is, this message is not new to your soul. Your spirit has always known that you were destined for something greater, that God has placed something within you that the world cannot define and the devil cannot destroy. You are not just anyone, you are the one the enemy has feared, the one heaven has watched over, the one your ancestors prayed for. This is your moment to rise, to reclaim what has been taken, to receive what has been withheld, to awaken to the truth. You are the heir, but awaken you must. I urge you to make a declaration right now, not later, not tomorrow. If this message resonates with you, seal it by writing in the comments below, "I will not sleep through my destiny. I am awake. I am ready. I am the heir." Let the spiritual realm witness your commitment. Speak it in faith, type it in trust for heaven. This message responds to unwavering faith, and this is your moment of boldness. The reason this message has reached you today is that there are no coincidences in the kingdom of God, neither your birth, your survival, nor the timing of this message entering your life. You did not accidentally come across this video, you did not merely click on it by chance. This is not the result of an algorithm, it is a matter of alignment. This specific word, this precise message was meant to reach you today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but at this very moment. Why? Because heaven operates on divine timing, and something has shifted in the spirit right now. Something that has been confined is now being set free. Something that has been withheld for years, perhaps even generations, is now being passed on. You are part of that shift. In the book of Esther, it is written, "And who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" There are genuine blessings that can only manifest at their designated time. If you had received this message last year, you would not have been prepared. If you hear it next year, the opportunity may be lost. However, today, your heart is positioned correctly, your soul is receptive, and most importantly, heaven is communicating. What is occurring in your life at this moment is not random. The tension, the delays, the unusual feelings, and the spiritual battles are all confirmations. The enemy often escalates the conflict when a blessing is imminent. You may have observed that things have felt uncertain lately. You have been reflecting on your past, questioning God about your future, and seeking clarity. Now this message has surfaced, not by chance but through divine orchestration. The reality is that this message had to wait until your heart was ready to receive it, for inheritance does not fall into just any hands. It is bestowed upon those who are prepared. Your preparation has not gone unnoticed. The years of sowing, praying, and remaining faithful when no one was watching were your training. Today, the Lord declares, now is the time, now is the hour. This message serves as the final signal before the release. Heaven is now that you have been informed of your accountability, and you understand the necessity of your response. I urge you to undertake a significant action, not for my benefit, nor for this channel, but for your own future, for your spiritual heritage, and for the next generation that will thrive under the blessings you embrace today. If this message resonates deeply within you, I encourage you to express your faith by typing this declaration in the comments immediately. This message has arrived at the perfect time. I accept it, and I will not overlook what God has prepared for me. You are not late, you are precisely on time. This moment is sacred, the atmosphere is transforming, and your inheritance awaits. Signs have been sent by God, yet you may not have recognized them. At times we plead with God to communicate, unaware that He has already done so. We seek answers, direction, and confirmation while disregarding the subtle hints that surround. God does not always communicate through dramatic events. Often He conveys His messages through patterns, gentle nudges, repetitions, and what we perceive as coincidences, which are in reality prophetic indicators. Let me pose a sincere question. Have there been instances in your life when everything around you fell silent? When people ceased to reach out, opportunities vanished, and you felt a disconnection from what once brought you joy? That was not failure or abandonment, it was God quieting the distractions so you could grasp the profound message. Perhaps you have experienced dreams that lingered long after waking, symbols that eluded your understanding. Maybe you have observed a particular number recurring frequently, or someone from your past has unexpectedly reemerged. Perhaps you find yourself continually drawn to the same message, the same scripture, or an inner knowing. These are signs that God has been communicating. When you withdrew from a deal that appeared too good to be true, only to discover later that it was a trap, that was God at work. When you felt uneasy in a crowded room without a clear reason, that was God. When you lost something you believed you needed, only to find unexpected tranquility in the aftermath, that was God. However, the adversary seeks to dull your sensitivity, leading you to believe that God is silent, when in reality He has been guiding you all along. You have not been forgotten, you have been led. Allow me to share something profound. Your steps have been ordered, including the detours, the delays, and even the instances you perceived as failures. God has utilized each of these to refine your discernment, for the inheritance you are about to receive necessitates spiritual vision. You must possess the ability to see beyond the natural realm. Here is a truth that many are reluctant to confront: God does not disclose the next blessing until we learn to recognize the signs He has already provided. If you have overlooked them in the past, do not be disheartened. You are not disqualified. Instead, you are undergoing a reawakening. This moment, this very message, serves as one of those signs. It is not the first, nor will it be the last, but it may be the most direct, for heaven is not communicating in riddles today. Heaven is clearly stating, I have been attempting to capture your attention, and now it is time for you to respond. Therefore I urge you to pause at this moment, take a deep breath and reflect. Recall the instances when things seemed nonsensical yet felt sacred. Remember the moments you dismissed but now perceive differently. Those were not mere moments, they were messages. If your heart is open now, and if your eyes are beginning to see what they once overlooked, I encourage you to take an important action in the comments below. I want you to write this declaration: God has been speaking, I hear Him now, I will not miss the signs again. Write it slowly and with intention, allowing it to become a covenant between your spirit and heaven. Once you begin to recognize the signs, you will never walk blindly again, and your inheritance will start to manifest in your life. The wealth transfer is already underway. Prepare yourself. There are pivotal moments in history when heaven silently, invisibly, yet powerfully shifts something on earth, and by the time most individuals realize what has transpired, the opportunity has already slipped away. But not this time, not for you, because the Spirit, the voice of God, is sounding the alarm before the door closes. Make no mistake, the transfer has already commenced. You may not perceive it with your natural eyes, your bank account may not yet reflect it, and your current job or retirement status may appear distant from abundance. However, in the spiritual realm, something monumental is in motion, and it is being entrusted to those whom heaven deems worthy to carry it with purpose. Proverbs states, "The wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous." This is not merely a metaphor, it is a spiritual law. God has been accumulating wealth, real wealth, not just monetary but also favor, access, ideas, opportunities, and resources, and now He is redistributing it to those who have remained faithful in secret, loyal in prayer, and steadfast during quiet seasons. This is not about prosperity for vanity or luxury for ego, it is about provision for your calling. The work that God is about to accomplish through your life will necessitate more than inspiration, it will require resources, influence, and divine authority, and you are being positioned to receive it. However, it is crucial to understand that every transfer necessitates preparation. If you were to suddenly inherit wealth without wisdom, vision, or spiritual maturity, it could lead to your downfall. That is why God has delayed it until now, because you are now ready to receive. You are awake, you are listening. The transfer is not intended for those who chase after money, it is meant for those who pursue purpose. If you are still here, still reading, still engaged, it signifies that this message is meant for you. Heaven is preparing to entrust you with more than enough, not for your own escape from hardship, but so that you can fulfill your assignment. You are not receiving this wealth solely for yourself, you are receiving it to bless others, to fund visions, to break generational poverty, to heal systems, and to restore what the enemy has attempted to destroy. However, there is a warning: those who are unprepared will miss this opportunity. Those who regard this as mere entertainment will remain in the wilderness, but those who take it seriously, who respond, and who prepare will be the ones to receive. Those who believe they will achieve what others have merely envisioned must take this matter seriously at this moment. If you feel that this message is intended for you, please write these words in the comments below. Let it serve as both your prayer and declaration: I am prepared for the wealth transfer, and I will manage it with faith and obedience. Allow heaven to witness that you are not merely hearing this message, you are actively preparing for it. What is being released in this season will influence generations to come. The spiritual realm is currently working in your favor. At this very moment, events are unfolding around you that your physical eyes cannot perceive. Heavenly forces are at work, angels are being sent forth, and barriers are being dismantled in places you have never even visited. Contracts are being annulled in the unseen, and chains are falling away from your name, your lineage, and your destiny. You may not yet feel these changes. Your body may be fatigued and your heart may feel heavy, but your spirit recognizes that something is awakening deep within you, something ancient, something sacred, because the Spirit of God is operating in dimensions that transcend this earthly existence. The Bible states in Daniel that when he prayed, the answer was dispatched from heaven immediately, yet it faced delays due to spiritual conflict in the heavens. Similarly, you have been praying for matters that appeared unanswered, but they were not overlooked, they were obstructed by resistance in the spiritual realm. Now at long last those prayers are breaking through. Angels have been tirelessly and silently fighting on your behalf. Doors that have remained locked for years are now being opened, and individuals are being inspired by the Spirit of God to bless you, favor you, and create opportunities for you, even if they do not yet comprehend why. This is the essence of divine favor. It operates behind the scenes before it becomes evident in your life. It rearranges spaces you have yet to enter and brings your name into discussions where you were never meant to be acknowledged. It prompts the right individuals to agree when the world has declared a resounding no. For when God bestows His favor upon you, no demon, system, or circumstance can hinder what is destined to unfold. Indeed, you have faced opposition. The assaults on your mind, health, peace, and finances were not mere occurrences of life, but manifestations of spiritual resistance. The enemy is aware of what lies ahead. He recognizes that you are not average, nor are you fragile. He understands that when the inheritance arrives, you will not squander it, but rather utilize it to impact generations. This is the reason for the intense pressure you have experienced, the reason certain doors have been forcefully closed, the reason you have felt isolated, misunderstood, and pushed to your limits. It was never a matter of punishment, it has always been about preparation. Now the heavens are aligning, the enemy's hold is diminishing, the spiritual realm is shifting in your favor, and favor is descending like rain. Do not be misled by what your eyes perceive. Favor does not always present itself as a blessing initially. At times it manifests through discomfort or delay. Yet in every moment heaven continues to work, and your name is being mentioned in places you have yet to enter. If you resonate with this, if your soul is stirred at this moment, then you understand that this chapter is meant for you. If you believe that the spiritual realm is acting in your favor, I urge you to declare it with confidence. Type it in the comments below. Heaven is moving for me. What is mine is on the way. Proclaim it with authority. Write it as a decree. For when you speak with faith, you unleash power in both the visible and invisible realms, and your inheritance is on its way, fully supported by heaven. The enemy seeks to prevent you from recognizing this truth. If you are still present, still reading, still listening, then grasp this: you have already overcome a strategy of the enemy. Everything in the unseen realm has been orchestrated to divert you from this moment, to distract, confuse, and persuade you that this message is not intended for you, to suggest that it is too late, to whisper that your time has passed, that you have missed your opportunity, that you are too old, too broken, or too ordinary. However, it is important to recognize that the devil is deceitful. You must comprehend that the adversary does not confront what he does not fear. The intensity of the challenges you have encountered throughout your life serves as the most significant proof of the magnitude of the destiny that lies within you. Satan perceived your future long before you became aware of it. He recognized the opportunities that would arise if you ever awakened to your true identity. He foresaw the chains that would be broken if you ever accepted the calling placed upon your life. He anticipated the curses that would be dismantled if you ever acknowledged that you are the chosen heir. Your true identity. He foresaw the chains that would be broken if you ever accepted the calling placed upon your life. He anticipated the curses that would be dismantled if you ever acknowledged that you are the chosen heir. Consequently, he has battled you through discouragement, delays, betrayal, illness, loss, and through voices that urged you to settle. He has used circumstances to make you feel forgotten. Yet the haze is now dissipating and you are beginning to see with spiritual clarity. You now realize that it was not merely life, it was a strategic effort to obstruct your blessings. It was a calculated endeavor to keep you blind, bound, and beneath your true calling. However, a shift has occurred in the spiritual realm and the truth is coming to light. You were never too late, never too lost, and never too far gone. You were indeed targeted, but not due to weakness, rather you were targeted because of the inheritance you carry. You possess something eternal, and the enemy is aware that if you ever unlock it, embrace it, and begin to walk in it, his hold on generations will be shattered. This is why this message is of utmost urgency. The enemy's goal is not merely to steal your finances, he aims to rob you of your awareness. If he can keep you oblivious to what is rightfully yours, you will never strive for it. He desires for you to overlook the signs, to minimize your dreams, and to scroll past this message, returning to a life of mere survival. However, survival is not your destiny. Inheritance is. You were designed for dominion, born to walk in favor, and marked for purpose even before your first breath. Now God is illuminating your vision, so I urge you to confront the enemy at this moment, not with fear or doubt, but with authority that originates from the heavenly throne room. Write this declaration in the comments with boldness and conviction. I now see the truth. The enemy will not take my inheritance. Let those words resonate in the spirit realm. Let them become a sword in your hand. From this moment onward, the battle is no longer concealed and the devil will no longer have your silence. You have been awakened, and nothing can hinder what God has initiated. The proof lies in your current experiences. You do not require another sign. You do not need a prophet to call your name. You do not need anyone to affirm whether this message is genuine, for the evidence has already been manifesting in your life. Look around, look within, reflect on the past weeks, months, even years. Consider how things have been changing, how people have been distancing themselves, how old desires have diminished, how what once satisfied you no longer fulfills you. This is not merely a result of aging or change, it is divine disruption. God has been rearranging your surroundings because your next season cannot be constructed upon the foundation of your past. Certain habits, relationships, mindsets, and even locations had to be unsettled. Why? Because you were evolving into your inheritance, and your previous environment could not support the weight of what God is about to place in your hands. That discomfort you have been experiencing is confirmation. That strange tension in your spirit is evidence. Those silent nights when you could not sleep yet could not explain why were not random, they were spiritual contractions. Heaven has been attempting to birth something within you. You may have felt as though you were being stripped, but God was creating space. You may have felt overlooked, but God was preparing the stage. You may have felt trapped, but God was grounding you, for He only builds legacy on a foundation that remains steadfast. The truth is, the reason this message resonates so profoundly right now is that it speaks to what your soul already understands. You have sensed the transition, you have perceived the shift, you have even told yourself something as I find it difficult to articulate what is occurring. This is not merely your imagination or a coincidence, it is the Holy Spirit affirming that you are in the midst of a divine arrangement. When old doors closed and you felt a void, that was protection. When financial difficulties arose and you were perplexed after being faithful, that was preparation. When individuals you believed would always be present began to distance themselves, that was divine separation. Your inheritance transcends monetary value. It is about alignment, which always begins with God removing obstacles before He initiates the release. Do not overlook the signs surrounding you. Do not dismiss the inner confirmation you are experiencing. You are not being paranoid, you are being positioned. You are not disintegrating, you are being refined. God is communicating through your circumstances, through the timing of this message, and through the tears that may be forming in your eyes as you come to understand that this is not merely a video, it is a visitation. Therefore, pause for a moment and absorb what the Spirit is doing. When you feel prepared, I encourage you to commemorate this moment in the Spirit. Write the following words in the comments below. I recognize the evidence. I am in position. I receive what God is revealing. This declaration is not intended for attention, it is for alignment. By writing it, you are not only agreeing with the message but also with heaven. When heaven acknowledges your agreement, manifestation invariably follows. Why are only a select few chosen? Because you are one of them. From the very dawn of time, God has never operated through crowds. He has never required multitudes to fulfill His plan. When God sought to establish a nation, He called upon one man, Abraham. When He aimed to liberate a people, He raised one voice, Moses. When He intended to safeguard a bloodline, He empowered one woman, Esther. When He desired to alter eternity, He sent one Son, Jesus. God does not act based on popularity, He acts according to purpose. When He places His hand upon someone, it is never by chance, it is by design. At this moment you may be questioning, why me? Why this message? Why now? Let me tell you the answer in one sentence: because you were chosen before you ever understood you were chosen. God saw something in you that others overlooked. He saw your heart, He saw your tears, He saw your quiet faithfulness when no one applauded, when no one celebrated you, when you had every reason to give up, but chose to hold on anyway. He saw your willingness to be refined, He saw your spirit bow in humility, while others chased platforms. He saw you pray for others, when your own needs were unmet, and heaven took note. This is not about being better. This is not about being perfect. This is about being available, about being trustworthy, about being aligned. Many have been called, many were invited, but few responded with surrender, and that is why only a few will be chosen, because the weight of the inheritance is heavy. It cannot rest on unstable shoulders. It cannot be entrusted to those who will misuse it. It cannot be wasted on those who chase comfort over calling. There is a remnant that heaven has been preparing quietly, secretly, patiently, and you are part of that remnant. You've been through the fire. You've been misunderstood, underestimated, isolated, and still, you stayed the course. That's why the inheritance is coming to you. This is not just about receiving wealth, this is about stewarding kingdom influence. This is about setting a standard for your children and your grandchildren. This is about walking in rooms as a carrier of God's glory, not just a collector of blessings. God doesn't give based on request, He gives based on readiness. And while others were chasing platforms, you were being prepared in the shadows. While others were gathering followers, you were gathering wisdom. While others were distracted, you were developing the spiritual sensitivity to handle what's being released right now. Do not compare yourself. Do not envy those who seem to be ahead, because your timing is divine, and heaven is calling your number. Now this is your moment. You are not just part of the crowd, you are part of the chosen few. Will understand what is occurring in your life may be difficult for many to believe, yet that is inconsequential, because the only voice that holds significance has already declared over you, you are mine. You are prepared, you are the very heir. Therefore at this moment I urge you to compose a declaration that reverberates through the atmosphere and affirms your covenant with God. Please write this in the comments below. I am one of the chosen. I am ready to bear what others could not. Let this serve as your confirmation, for once heaven has recognized you, nothing on earth or in hell can revoke your selection, and the inheritance will locate its rightful possessor. What you must do now to safeguard this inheritance is crucial. You have journeyed this far, you have sensed the pull in your spirit, you have received the confirmation in your heart. Now the pressing question arises, what comes next? Receiving the inheritance transcends mere belief, it necessitates obedience. There are individuals who receive a prophetic word and regard it as a beautiful narrative, something to uplift them momentarily, only to move on unchanged, allowing the promise to slip past them. However, that cannot be your fate, not now, not after all you have endured, not after all that God has revealed to you. A distinct boundary exists between hearing the word and activating it, and today, God is calling you to cross that boundary. The inheritance is not assured by emotion, it is manifested through action, alignment, and ongoing surrender. You may inquire, what must I do now to retain it? Here is the response, conveyed as clearly and earnestly as possible. You must safeguard the soil where the seed was sown. This message, the one you are currently receiving, is a seed that has taken root in your heart. It is alive. However, akin to the parable Jesus recounted, some seeds fell on shallow ground, some among thorns, and some were taken by birds before they could flourish. Only one type of soil yielded fruit, the kind that was prepared, protected, and nurtured. This inheritance will not flourish in a life cluttered with spiritual distractions. It will not prosper in bitterness, distraction, pride, or procrastination. It must be safeguarded and nourished and walked out. Here is what you must do now. You need to start protecting your atmosphere. Limit the voices you permit to influence your life. If they do not speak faith, they speak death. If they ridicule the things of God, they are adversaries of your inheritance, even if they are close to you. You must enhance your spiritual discipline. This is the season in which your prayer life must deepen. This is the moment to study the Word, not casually, but as if your future depends on it, because it does. You must walk in obedience, even when it is uncomfortable. God may ask you to forgive someone you never intended to forgive. He may prompt you to give when it appears you have little left. He may urge you to release something you have been holding on to. This is the proving ground. This is where the distinction is made between those who were touched by the Word and those who were transformed by it. And hear me clearly, God does not tease His children. He is not dangling this promise in front of you to excite you and then walk away. He is extending His hand right now and asking, will you walk with me through the door? Not everyone will. Some will be inspired and then distracted. Some will be convicted and then forget. But you are different. You have come too far, you have heard too much, and you have endured too much to take this lightly. The inheritance is still available, the blessing is still being transferred, but now it is up to you to walk in a manner that demonstrates you are ready to carry it. And that journey begins today, not next week, not when it feels easier, today. So I want you to pause, let this settle in your spirit, and then do something powerful to signify your commitment. Write this in the comments, and do not merely type it. Declare it with the weight of your soul. I will guard this word. I will walk in obedience. I will not lose my inheritance. Let these words seal your heart, for heaven is watching. The angels are taking note, and the next steps you take will determine the ground you walk on in the days to come. The number connected to your prosperity God speaks in. There are numerous ways in which Scripture communicates, including through dreams, individuals, and even numbers. The Bible is replete with divine codes, patterns, and symbols that convey prophetic significance that transcends human comprehension. From Genesis to Revelation, numbers serve not merely as mathematical figures, they act as spiritual keys that unlock mysteries, signify moments, and initiate divine actions. There exists a number associated with your prosperity, and whether you are aware of it or not, this number has likely already begun to manifest in your life. That number is 80088. You may have encountered it casually on receipts, in dreams, on digital clocks, or on pages in seemingly random locations that appeared insignificant at the time. However, nothing is truly random when divine intervention is at play. In Scripture, the number 8 symbolizes new beginnings. It represents resurrection, regeneration, and divine relief. The eighth day in the Bible signifies the commencement of a new cycle, a fresh start, and a sacred revelation. When God reveals to you the number 888 or 3 occurrences of the number 38 in alignment, it is not merely personal, it serves as prophetic confirmation that a complete cycle has concluded and a triple portion of blessings, abundance, and breakthroughs is being bestowed upon you. This signifies triple new beginnings, triple restoration, and triple inheritance. You may have endured 7 years of scarcity, 7 years of delays, or 7 years of trials, but now the 8th year is emerging in your life. God is not merely restoring what was lost, He is providing you with more than you anticipated. The number 888 is not rooted in superstition or numerology. It embodies divine symbolism representing God's mark on the timing of your breakthrough. When you begin to notice 888, it indicates that the season of mere survival is concluding and the season of abundance is commencing. The old doors are permanently closed and the new doors will not necessitate the same struggle, they will open through favor. The inheritance is no longer in the processing stage, it is being released. However, it is crucial that you do not take this lightly. When heaven communicates through signs, the gravest error we can make is to dismiss them as mere coincidence. God does not speak randomly, He is presenting you with a number to capture your attention, your expectation, and your alignment. You are entering your 8th season, you are walking into a new dimension of promise, and your obedience, your readiness, and your faith are the only things that can unlock what 8.88 truly represents in your life. So now I want you to do something sacred. This is not just a comment, it's a prophetic act, it's a spiritual agreement, it's a way of marking this moment in the book of your life. If you are believing that 8.88 is God's confirmation over your inheritance, then write this in the comments below. I receive my triple portion. I declare 8.88 over my life, my home, and my future. Let these words be written in the presence of heaven. Let the Spirit see that you're not just a spectator, you are a steward of the Word, because those who take the signs seriously will walk in the substance they represent. The number has been revealed, the meaning has been spoken, and the inheritance is closer than earth. The confirmation will arrive within 3 days. Here's how to recognize it when God speaks. He doesn't leave you guessing, He confirms, He affirms, He answers, and for those who are listening, truly listening, He always provides a sign that the word you received was real, timely, and destined for you. This is that moment. If you followed this message to this point, you're not here out of curiosity, you're here because your spirit knows something is being stirred. You can feel it in your chest, you can sense it in your thoughts, you can't shake the feeling that something has shifted in the unseen. Now God is about to confirm it in the natural. Within the next 3 days, a sign will come, not because you demand it, not because of superstition, but because God has already ordained it. Throughout the Bible, God always confirmed His promises in patterns of 3 on the 3rd day. Abraham saw the place where he would prove his faith and receive provision on the third day. Esther stood before the king and favor was released over her people on the third day. Jesus rose from the grave and changed the course of eternity. 3 days is not merely a measurement of time, it embodies a spiritual rhythm of breakthrough, validation, and resurrection. You are now entering that same rhythm, but it is essential to learn how to recognize what is forthcoming. The confirmation may not manifest in the manner you anticipated. It may not arrive wrapped as a financial breakthrough or as a voice from heaven. Instead, it may present itself quietly through a conversation, through an open door that seems illogical in the natural realm, or through someone unexpectedly offering assistance. It could also emerge through a recurring word or phrase that resonates deeply, either leaping off the page or striking your heart when articulated. Furthermore, it may come through divine disruption, a delay that paves the way for a superior opportunity, or a closed door that redirects you to the one that was always intended for you. It may even manifest as conviction, where something within your spirit breaks free, enabling you to finally release the fear, doubt, or bitterness that has been holding you back. You must remain sensitive. If your heart is hardened, your mind clouded, or your attention diverted, you may overlook what is genuinely God communicating directly to you. Therefore, prepare yourself. Lean in and pray with clarity over the next 3 days. Ask God to make you aware, not merely informed. Request His assistance in perceiving with spiritual eyes and an open heart. This is not just any confirmation, it is the final confirmation before manifestation. You will not need to pursue it, it will come to you. Not through your efforts but through divine orchestration. However, do not be mistaken, God is observing. How you wait matters. Will you wait in faith or in fear? Will you prepare or will you panic? Will you anticipate the answer or will you overlook it when it arrives? This is your proving ground. The confirmation will be the key that unlocks the next step once it arrives. What you do next will determine the fullness of what heaven releases. Therefore, I urge you to seal this moment in faith. Make a bold declaration, not for the eyes of others but to be heard by God. Write this in the comments below. I am watching and waiting. I will recognize the confirmation when it comes. I am ready for the next step. Let this be your covenant when the sign manifests, and it will. Those who are ready to perceive it will enter their season of month, and nothing will hinder what is released. A door will open this week, but you must affirm your willingness. There comes a pivotal moment in every divine journey when the invitation transitions from theoretical to tangible. No more preparation, no more waiting for ideal conditions, no more seeking additional signs, just one decision, yes or no. That moment is now, not next year, not someday. This week a door is poised to open before you. It may not initially appear grand, it might seem quiet, simple, or even unimpressive to the natural eye, but in the spiritual realm it is monumental, history-altering, and legacy-creating, requiring your affirmative response. You may wonder what type of door it will be. Let me clarify, it will be a door that challenges your comfort while affirming your calling. It will demand faith to traverse, costing you something, perhaps a habit, a fear, a relationship, or a false sense of control, but it will reward you with more than you can ask or envision. It may present itself as an unforeseen opportunity, a divine connection, an invitation to serve, give, move, speak, or shift. Regardless of its form, understand this: it is an answer to your prayers. You sought God's confirmation, timing, and a chance for renewal. This is it. However, here is the aspect that many overlook: when God opens the door, He will not compel you to enter. You must take the initiative. You must say yes before you comprehend the complete plan. You must affirm your willingness even when uncertainty lingers. You must respond in faith, not by sight, for heaven operates on conviction, not convenience. When the Israelites stood before the Red Sea, the waters did not part until they advanced. When Peter observed Jesus walking on water, the miracle commenced only after he exited the boat. When Mary consented to bear the Messiah, she had no assurance of comfort, only the promise of God's presence. And now this same principle stands before you. The door is coming, and it will swing open for a brief moment. If you hesitate, it may shut. If you delay, you may miss the window. If you allow fear to make the decision, you may stay where God never intended you to remain. This is not a time to be polite with your future. This is not a time to consult the opinions of people who cannot see what God is showing you. This is not a time to wait for validation. You already have it from heaven. Say yes, even if your knees shake. Say yes, even if you have to walk alone. Say yes, because God has already gone ahead of you to prepare what you cannot yet see this week. A divine test will come, a moment that feels ordinary but holds extraordinary consequences, and you will remember these words, and you will have to choose. So I want you to do what most people are too afraid to do. Speak your yes before you even know what it will cost, because that is what faith looks like. Write this in the comments below: when the door opens, I will walk through it. My answer is yes, I will not miss my moment. Write it not as a feeling but as a vow, because heaven is watching, the door is coming, and your destiny is on the other side. If you are still here, if your heart is still open, if your spirit is still locked into every word spoken since the beginning of this message, then hear me clearly: you are not here by accident. You are not just one among many. You are the one God has been calling all along. There is a reason this message wouldn't let you go. There is a reason your heart was pierced, your memory stirred, your faith shaken and awakened. It's because something ancient, something eternal, something divinely written is unfolding in your life right now. You didn't just stumble onto a prophetic word, you stepped into a prophetic confirmation of what heaven has known about you since before you were formed. Jeremiah 15 says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Before the first breath ever filled your lungs, you were already known before. Have you ever experienced failure, stumbled, or lost your way? You were already marked, not merely to exist or to survive, but to inherit. This is what many overlook. Being chosen is not a matter of pride, it is a matter of responsibility. It involves carrying what others have dropped, healing what others have ignored, and walking where others have halted. You were selected not for your perfection, but because you continued to show up, because you pressed on even when your hands trembled, because you chose forgiveness when bitterness seemed easier, and because you humbled yourself when others sought recognition. Now God is proclaiming, I am honoring your surrender, I am rewarding your faithfulness, I am restoring everything that was lost, stolen, delayed, or forgotten. You did not miss your moment. You did not squander your opportunity. You are right on time. Heaven has awaited this alignment. The angels have observed your journey, and now the scroll of your destiny is being unfurled. The inheritance is not forthcoming. It has already been dispatched and your name is inscribed upon it. However, pay close attention. This final moment is not for inspiration, it is for agreement. If you do not align with what heaven has declared, the word cannot manifest in its entirety. Therefore, I urge you to perform one final act of faith, one last moment of boldness, and I ask that you do so with reverence, humility, and complete spiritual authority. In the comments below, write these words as a seal, a vow, a final prophetic declaration. I was chosen from the beginning. I accept my inheritance. I will walk in the fullness of God's plan for my life. Write it slowly, write it prayerfully. Let each letter serve as a key, unlocking what has been awaiting you. For if you have come this far, you were not called by chance, you were called because you were already part of the plan, and now your time has arrived. If this message has reached the deepest parts of your soul, if it has stirred something within you that you cannot quite articulate, if it felt less like a video and more like a divine appointment, if you are aware, then you understand that this was not merely content, it served as a confirmation, a prophetic interruption, a sacred moment, designated in time for you to recall your identity and the purpose of your existence. You are the heir, selected for a divine purpose, and what God is about to manifest in your life will not only bring you blessings, but will also influence everyone associated with you. However, having received this message, you now bear a new obligation. Do not keep it to yourself. Just as this message reached you, it must also reach another individual, someone who is on the verge of surrendering, someone who has been pleading for a sign, someone who has been questioning their value, their timing, and their role in God's plan. You have the potential to be the link between their despair and their destiny. All that is required of you is to share this video, allow it to reach its intended audience, and let the Spirit guide it to the next chosen individual. If this message resonated with you, if it validated what you have been feeling, dreaming, or praying for, then take a step of faith right now by subscribing to this channel so that you will not miss what heaven has to convey next. This is merely the beginning. More revelations are forthcoming, and additional prophetic guidance is on the horizon. You are now part of a remnant, a family of heirs who will advance into the future not with trepidation but with faith and fervor. Therefore, before you depart, please do these 3 things. Comment below with your final declaration, allowing your voice to be heard in the spiritual realm. Share this message with someone you cherish, someone who is in need of hope, and subscribe to remain connected, for this journey is far from over, it is just commencing. You are not overlooked. You are not insignificant, you are not too late, you were chosen, and the gates of heaven are now opening in your favor. Proceed boldly, for the inheritance is yours. Hallelujah.